Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. J. Jayashankar's lecture series in Commerce, episode 9. The topic for today's discussion is consumer protection. Who is a consumer? Consumer is one who actually uses a product. He need not have purchased it. The person who is buying a product can be called the buyer. He need not consume it. So, the consumer need not be the buyer. Likewise, the buyer also need not be the consumer. For example, if a father purchases a toy for his child, the buyer is the father and the consumer is actually the child. So, the father must be very careful in buying the right type of toy for his child. If he shows negligence, because there are toys for different age groups of children. So if he shows carelessness and buys something which is not suitable for his child, and later on the child while playing with the toy is injured, the law will not give any relief or remedy to the father. Buyer beware, we say, caveat emptor, which means that it is only the buyer who makes the buying decision. So he must satisfy himself that what he buys is really good and safe and that he gets his money's worth. So if he is careless in taking the buying decision, later on he cannot blame the seller. That is what is the rule, caveat emptor, buyer beware. There is one more word which is used synonymously with the words consumer and buyer, and that is customer. Who can be called a customer? A buyer who regularly buys from a particular merchant, from a particular business, can be called the customer of the business. And if the person buys the same brand again and again, then he becomes a customer of the company which is marketing that brand. Our topic for discussion today is consumer protection. The interests of the consumers need to be protected. So when we say this, what is implied here is that the consumers are getting exploited in the market. Who actually exploits the consumers? It is undoubtedly the principleless, the unscrupulous vendor in the market who exploits the consumers. How are the consumers exploited in the market? What are all the unethical and undesirable practices indulged in by the marketers? We will see them one by one. The first and the foremost is adulteration. So, what is adulteration? Bringing the quality of the products deliberately down by adding certain substances is what is called adulteration. So, deliberately you bring down the quality of the product that you sell. For example, jaggery may be added to honey, and the buyer thinks that he is buying pure honey, but what he buys is adulterated honey. He doesn't get the correct product and he doesn't get his money's worth. In certain cases, adulteration even leads to the buyer falling sick, getting affected. His health gets affected because he has purchased and consumed adulterated products. For example, we hear from media reports often yellow color powder is added to turmeric powder. This is done deliberately. And think of the consumer who is going to buy it and use it. Obviously, he will be prone to certain diseases in the long run. The impact may not be felt immediately, but in the long run, obviously it will be a health hazard for the consumer. Underweight is yet another problem that we face in our daily life. That is, we don't get the right quantity of what we buy. So you place an order for half a kg sugar. Later, when you check the weight, you find 50 grams less or 100 grams less. This happens mainly because in the marketplace, the weighing machines that are used are not proper. So they are being tampered with by the unscrupulous vendors. So when proper weighing machines are not used, this will be done in favor of the merchant always. So as a result, what happens is the buyer doesn't get the quantity for which he has paid the price. So you pay for half a kg but get only 400 grams. Hoarding or black marketing. There are many essential commodities that become scarce in the market, and this is artificially created, this scarcity. Onions become scarce in India often. Why is this scarcity created? So, when essential commodities become scarce, obviously it will result in price rise, and that is what the vendors want. Although sometimes they attribute it to monsoon failure or low yield, but the possibility of hoarding or black marketing is not ruled out. It is deliberately done in most of the cases. Even milk products become scarce during festival times. Then, misleading and deceptive advertisements. Most of the television advertisements that we watch are mere exaggerations. There are so many products whose sales are being promoted by the companies that advertise on television, and we find that these products do not serve the purpose at all for which they are purchased. Fairness creams, there are umpteen number of fairness creams that are being marketed, and we all know that none of them actually has served the purpose for which it has been purchased. Even after it has been used for several months or even after several years, it has not increased the or improved the skin complexion of the woman who has purchased and used it. Preservatives are used in all food products. Why? Why are preservatives used in products like pickles, then soft drinks, milk, bread, and so on? To increase their shelf life. So, pesticides are used in soft drinks so that they can be kept and sold over a period of 2 months or 3 months. Even in the case of mineral water or milk, they can be used for a period of 2 days or 3 days because it contains certain amount of pesticides. So these preservatives, and also in pickles preservatives are used so that it can be kept in use over a period of 6 months. So when you consume them, obviously it is going to affect your health, and it will not be, the impact will not be immediate, but it will definitely be felt in the long run. You are going to be prone to certain diseases definitely in the long run. Price manipulation again is yet another practice that is widely prevalent. The same product is sold at different prices in different places. So when you have, let us say, soft drink, maybe in a bunk shop, you will be paying 15 rupees or 20 rupees per 300 ml. But the same soft drink, you have it in a theater, you may end up paying 50 rupees or even 100 rupees. And what about mineral water? So what you get in a nearby shop for just 20 rupees per liter is sold maybe in a cinema theater for 50 rupees. Most of the products are also not safe to use. There have been media reports in the past. Certain models of mobile phones have been found to be not so safe, and they were not even allowed on flights. There have been cases of mobile phones exploding and many have been injured also. And there was some time back a report in the media that many of the popular models of cars were subjected to the crash test and they miserably failed the crash test. So think of those who own those cars and who drive those cars. So it poses a safety hazard for them, and if the vehicle is involved in an accident, definitely it will prove to be fatal. Okay, we have discussed so many undesirable practices that are prevalent in our market. What is the remedy? What can the buyer do? What can the seller do? The buyer, on his part, since he is making the buying decision, he has to carefully select the product. Buyer beware, we have said already. Caveat emptor. So he must satisfy himself that the product he buys is good and safe to use, consume, and he gets his money's worth. And the seller, on his part, he has got certain responsibilities towards the community in general and the consumers in particular. So he has to ensure that what he sells is really good for the consumer. So he should not be thinking of making quick profits by selling defective goods to the consumers, because he has a responsibility towards the consumer. After all, the consumer's goodwill, which is more important than the quick money that he is going to get. So once he is able to secure the goodwill of the consumer, obviously profits will begin to accrue to the business. And we have enacted many laws in India. For example, we have the Sale of Goods Act. Then we have the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. And under the Consumer Protection Act, anyone who is aggrieved, anyone who has complaints over what he has purchased and consumed, can actually apply under the provisions of the Consumer Protection Act. There are several forums that have been established under the Consumer Protection Act, and he can apply and get relief. To conclude, we can recollect the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi on customer. Let us just recollect what the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, has said about the customer. According to him, the customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider of our business. He is part of it. We are not doing him any favor by serving him. He, in fact, is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. With this, we will conclude today's discussion on consumer protection. I am sure you would have found it very useful. Please do subscribe to my channel if you really like my videos. We will again meet. This is Dr. J. Jaishankar signing off.